Adolf Hitler, an Austrian, an artist, a visionary politician, or delusional? His actions painted the world in blood, starting World War II. He led a life that began in a modest household, rising from relative obscurity to seize power in Germany. His journey before the war is a tale marked by ambition, resentment, and an unyielding determination to leave his mark on the world. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 1889, in the small Austrian town of Braunau am Inn, near the German border. He was the fourth of 6 children, but only he and his younger sister Paula would survive into adulthood. Hitler's father, Alois, was a customs official, a strict and authoritarian man who frequently clashed with his young son. His mother, Clara, was a kind-hearted woman who adored her children, particularly young Adolf, and tried to shield him from his father's temper. Their relationship would influence Hitler's views on authority and family dynamics for years to come. In school, young Adolf showed an early interest in art and architecture. He dreamed of becoming a painter, but his academic performance was often mediocre. As a teenager, he grew up increasingly rebellious, which eventually led to him leaving school without completing his education. When his father died in 1903, Hitler's sense of direction in life became even more unclear, but his mother's support kept him grounded. However, tragedy struck in 1907 when his mother died of cancer. This loss devastated Hitler, leaving him alone and directionless, and he soon set out for Vienna to pursue his artistic dreams. In 1907, Hitler moved to Vienna, the capital of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, with aspirations of becoming an artist. He applied to the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts twice, in 1907 and 1908, but was rejected both times. These rejections were crushing for Hitler, who had pinned his future on becoming a painter. He lived in poverty, drifting through menial jobs, struggling to make ends meet. These years of hardship would have a profound impact on his worldview. Vienna was a melting pot of different ethnicities, ideologies, and social movements, and Hitler was exposed to a range of ideas that would shape his future beliefs. Here, he developed a deep resentment toward the Jewish population and embraced the rising tide of nationalism and anti-Semitism sweeping across Europe. The writings of nationalist thinkers, combined with his personal frustrations, fueled his growing prejudice against Jews, whom he began to blame for his misfortunes and the social problems he perceived in Vienna. Around 1913, Joseph Stalin and Josip Tito were also in the cities. As a strange irony, they might all served a cup of coffee in the same shop at the same time. In 1914, World War I erupted, and Hitler eagerly enlisted in the German army. For him, the war represented a chance to find purpose and prove himself. Serving as a messenger on the Western Front, Hitler experienced the horrors of war firsthand, but he thrived in the structured environment of the military. He was awarded 2 Iron Crosses for bravery, a rare honor for someone of his rank, and developed a fierce loyalty to Germany. The war gave Hitler a sense of belonging and camaraderie that he had lacked in civilian life. But as Germany faced defeat, he became disillusioned and embittered. When news came in 1918 that Germany had surrendered, Hitler was devastated. He felt betrayed, unable to accept that his beloved nation had lost. Like many Germans, he came to believe in the stab-in-the-back myth, which claimed that Germany had been betrayed by internal enemies, especially Jews and socialists. After the war, Hitler returned to Munich, where he joined a small nationalist group called the German Workers' Party in 1919. Hitler quickly rose through the ranks, due in large part to his oratory skills and his passionate speeches, which attracted growing crowds. Recognizing his potential, the party's leaders encouraged him to play a more prominent role. He soon transformed the party into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi Party, and began developing its ideological foundation. Hitler's speeches struck a chord with many Germans who were struggling in the aftermath of the Treaty of Versailles, which had placed heavy reparations on Germany, leading to economic hardship and widespread resentment. Hitler blamed Germany's problems on Jews, communists, and other perceived enemies, crafting a narrative that appealed to the disenfranchised and the disillusioned. His vision for Germany promised a return to strength and unity, and he vowed to rebuild the nation by purging it of these so-called internal threats. By the late 1930s, Hitler's ambitions had outgrown Germany. He began annexing neighboring territories, aiming to create a vast German empire. The annexation of Austria in 1938, Anschluss, and the Munich Agreement of 1938, which permitted Hitler to annex the Sudetenland, a German-speaking region of Czechoslovakia, proved his aggressive foreign policy, which drew Europe closer to the brink of war. Yet the German people, driven by a sense of restored pride, largely supported his actions.